Alright, today is March 29th, and today we're going to field strip and clean a Colt 1991A1. This guy right here, in the 45 ACP, no doubt. This gun's cleared, I've checked it, slide back, slide step up, visual check, physical check, no mag in the gun. But before I start doing that, I wanted to tell you that I'll be making more fishing vids now that the open season in New Hampshire, open water, starting season is April 1st, and that'll be this Monday, so that's going to be pretty awesome. Me and my buddy Dan, we're going to go fish for some trout maybe, just for some giggles, and then we're going to try and see if we can't catch a bass. Last year, I think we started catching bass like, kind of around towards the end of April, right at the beginning of May, because the ice was still pretty heavy. But yeah, so in today's video, we're going to field strip and clean a Colt 1991A1. This gun's pretty precious to me. It's been in my family almost 30 years. Gun's probably 27 years old, around thereabouts. I'm actually 30 years old, so, 3 years after I came around, this gun came around, so pretty awesome. It's a 45 ACP, it's a Series 80, and just a great gun. It's been well taken care of, and I'm going to show you how to take care of it so we can have it for another 30 years in my family. Alright, I'm going to show you how to make it safe. Back on my table right here, show you the thumb safety, a little grip safety in the back, and the magazine release button, the slide stop, and I'm also going to show you how to disassemble it, of course, because that's what you got to do before you start cleaning it. Alrighty. First thing we're going to do before cleaning our Colt 1991A1, we always got to make sure that it's unloaded. There's no such thing as accidents once firearms are involved. Just negligence. No bullets in the magazine. We're going to press the thumb safety down, and we're going to get a visual check, physical check. One more time. Slide back, slide stop up. You can see where it fits in right there. Visual check, physical check. Alright. Now the gun is safe to disassemble. There are several ways to disassemble Colt 1911. We're just going to do one. What we're going to do here is we're going to press down the plunger, and when we press down the plunger, we're going to twist the barrel nut clockwise. So if you can see that right there, we twist the barrel nut clockwise all the way. It's going to shoot the plunger out. That's the spring plunger. This is your recoil spring. Now, in order to get the barrel nut out, we have to twist it counterclockwise, and it should slide right out like so. Once you've done that, you press the slide backwards to the lighter notch right there, and there's a button on the other side, and it'll let it come out freely. I usually flip my gun over, pull the lower part of the gun off of the slide. The guide rod comes out of the top, and unlike the Glock and the M&P Shield from the other video, the barrel slides out of the front on a 1911. So we have all of our pieces here. Once disassembled, we're ready to clean. So today, we're going to use some Hoppies, strictly for nostalgia purposes. And I like to use Hoppies lubricating oil too. So we're going to need our brush, our gun bore cleaner, our solvent, our bore guide, because this is not called the guide rod, our bore brush, patches, and Q-tips. So what I like to do is I like to set all of my parts that I'm not working on to the side. And if you have a lot of small parts, you can either set them in a Tupperware or just make sure that you're on an even surface so they can't roll away. So just like the CLP, the Hoppies number 9 formula, you're just going to use it to scrub your barrel, the inside of your barrel. You can use some solvent on a patch too to rub around the outsides. We're just going to pass it through like with everything else. And try to hold the handle of your bore guide when you're passing it through your barrel, because it'll allow that bore to spin, the bore brush to spin inside of the barrel. Almost exclusive to the twist inside the gun, because some gun barrels, they have different twists. We're gonna pass our brush through our gun probably 7 to 10 times. After that, you can throw a plunger on here with a patch. I just like to kind of go quick and throw a patch over my bore brush because it works all the same for me. So, after you've passed your bore brush a few times, got the inside nice and scrubbed, it's time to take some patches. Put a patch through the barrel. We'll repeat this until we can get this pretty close to white. As you can tell, there's not very much dirt on that. There's a lot more solvent than there is dirt. But you definitely want to clean the solvent out of the barrel. You don't want anything inside that barrel. You just want it clean. You see it's pretty clean like that. Take a patch, wipe down around the outside of the barrel. Like so. Not very dirty, like I said before. We'll scrub this part right here. One more patch through and we'll be done with the barrel. I think the two or three most important parts on the 1911 to clean are the barrel, the slide, and the lower. The guide rod, plunger, spring, recoil spring, all that stuff doesn't really gather very much dirt. So you can see we found some more dirt inside there. Alright, with all that being done, we can set aside the barrel. Not much to clean on the guide rod. I'll just take it, wipe it off. We don't lubricate this piece. We don't lubricate this piece either. Sometimes I'll just take a Q-tip, I'll go inside here, if there's any trash caught inside there. Just give it a little wipe. See? Barely any dirt. Spring, if you want, if it makes you happy, you can take a patch, roll it around your spring. I'm actually thinking about getting a new spring for this because she's pretty worn out. Not that I've had any problems shooting it, but it's good to do routine maintenance. And going forward, we're going to put the bore brush aside, and go to our nylon brush here. I'm going to douse it in some hoppies and get to scrubbing on the inside of that. A lot of dirt gets clogged in here. I'm going to use a lot of Q-tips for it too. Take your small side of your brush. Nothing like the smell of hoppies, I tell you what. So you'll just continue this until you break all the carbon free from inside the slide. Then you can wipe it down with some patches or a cloth rag, and then you're going to want to clean all the inside of the channels right here where the rails go. With a couple of Q-tips. So I'm going to keep scrubbing and we'll come back when it's time to clean it with the Q-tips. After you've got it pretty good and scrubbed down, you want to just go with a little Q-tip here wherever your cloth patch can't go, or your rag that you're using. Just start getting the inside. You'll see how dirty it is. Get these little grooves that the barrel sits in. that pretty much does it for our slide. Just give it a nice wipe down. You know, some people like to use gloves because they don't want fingerprints. All of that. Fingerprints don't really show up too much on this, on the parkerization on this slide. Alright, we'll set that to the side. We're going to use our brush. Brush all these parts on the lower. What about these rubber Pachmeyer grips? I think they're great. They feel great in my hand. You know, they're not super sticky, but that don't matter because I ain't never dropped a gun before. I'm gonna have to work a little harder on getting these guns a bit dirtier. This will be one part where we put oil in on these two parts of the slide, or on the lower. But not too much else to put oil in. Alrighty. So we're all finished up, so we can clean up our work area and get it reassembled. Alright, before we reassemble our Colt 1991A1, I like to just do a little dab. Maybe that's a little too much. Just a pen drop on the slide right here. That is more than enough. Probably too much. Well, you can always wipe off the excess. But anyways, reassembling Colt 1911. Barrel through the front. Guide rod through the back. There's a little U-notch right there. That sits on top of the barrel. So put that in through the rear. Want to make sure that this link is facing up like that. If you need to support it, hold the guide rod against it, because sometimes it'll get knocked over forward or get knocked over backwards, but it has to be facing straight up like that. We're going to take our lower, slide on like so. See if you can find it. We're going to take our slide stop, push it in. If you can see it right here, that means you're doing something good. Like to flip it over, press it backwards to the shallower groove, or the tighter groove actually, and you go press in and up, and it should slide right in like so. From there, pull the slide forward, reinsert our barrel nut. There's a notch on the bottom. Swing it clockwise. Insert our spring and our plunger. This is the hardest part about the 1911, is getting that plunger all the way down in there. Once you got the plunger depressed, the barrel nut, roll over it counterclockwise, and you're ready to rock and roll. Do a functions check, thumb safety on, pull the trigger, thumb safety off, fire in a safe direction, half cock, check to see if the hammer will drop without the grip safety, hammer drops, grip safety, you're good to go. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. More fishing videos coming up soon. If you ever find yourself in a gun shop and they have a decently priced 1911, buy one. They're fun. They're super fun to shoot, and they harken back to the old days. Alrighty. Until next time, happy shooting.